Welcome in, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Saturday to everyone. We know it's a delay sometime with us going live, but we are glad to see you guys are in the building. We appreciate your time, especially on this Saturday. Um, I'll let Diamond do some of the housekeeping and some really quick announcements.
Hi, everyone. Welcome in. As you are coming in, please tell us what state you are viewing from. Also, I just want to let you guys know this is week 3 of our credit boot camp, where we are talking about different ways and strategies for you to quickly boost your credit score. So, this is our 3rd week here. We will be back for our last week, which will be next week. If you have any questions, as usual, we like you to ask them in the chat, and we will circle back to your questions a little bit towards the end, and we'll have a Q&A sessions where we will go over as many questions as possible. So please let us know where you're coming in from. Like this video as you come in, and please do share it with someone who needs it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. Um, Diamond, I don't know if you know on the Sherry Beckley channel, the screen is I think it's doing the straight up live stream. I'm not quite sure if we can change the angle over
Is it
there.
showing? It's showing vertical like that.
Vertical, yeah. Just check it out on the channel.
Okay, give me a second. I'll look.
And drop the other link to the other channel that we're streaming on, me and your channel. So you guys, if you don't like this view, we until we fix out the technical issue, we're going to drop this link for you, and you can watch it over here live if it's throwing you off. YouTube is just trying to promote some of these vertical lives, so please bear with us. But she's going to drop the link in the chat for you guys, and we'll actually drop the link even after the live is over. Feel free to always drop your questions in after so we can answer your questions. And tonight, what we're going to talk about, and Diamond, if you want to bring me up with the large screen, then that might be helpful too for you to work in the background. We're going to talk about collections. Collections is a big issue for many people. Just make sure you guys, if you come in, do me a favor and give this live a thumbs up. It helps actually let people know that we are on. So if you can do me that favor, just hit the thumbs up. But collection, where the statistics is 1 out of every 3 persons have a collection on their credit report. So that's a large number. And with some changes with the Trump administration, they changed up collections where it was under the Biden administration at the very end, where he actually put in legislation. It was actually January, I believe around January 7th, it went into full effect this year, where you had medical collections over $500 at first. Anything under $500, if you paid it off, it will no longer report to your credit report. But they even included all collections for medical debt, even over that $500 mark. But the Trump administration did make some changes and removed that standing with the CFPB. Of course, it was presented that certain groups took them to court over that, but they actually took a knee. And so we do know with the CFPB, the Trump administration being Republicans. Oh, thank you so much. I see a super chat. I really appreciate it for the $20. We want to definitely. Oh, thank you so much, Smooth Sailing 94. We really appreciate it. And you said you need help. Can I get? Do me a favor, drop your comment what you need help on. And if you really need help, we can also drop the StreamYard link if people need to come up and ask your questions. So we'll make some room for that for you too, but we'll just have to guard it out. So just drop your question. Thank you so much for the super chat. Um, One of the things with those medical debts, with it being removed, this was slated to remove $50 million worth of medical debt off of people's credit reports. But now we're starting to see that come back. So when it comes down to especially collections, what you guys need to understand, collections generally take place because a debt is owed to the original creditor. And then after 180 days, when they cannot collect on that debt, that's when you see that charge off status. Sometimes they'll say write off. And once that take place, they may try to pursue that debt themselves. So you'll see a charge off or a write off on your credit report, and you may see a balance. If you see that balance, it's still with that company. Now, some of these companies do hire collection companies to call you to try to collect on that debt, and those are contracted. If you see that balance, most likely that company still has that debt. But when you see that charge off become a zero balance, and you see also a collection reporting, then you know that's actually got sold to a third party. Now, understand, sometimes you'll see that balance of that charge off. Say if it was $1,000 medical bill, you'll see the balance of that $1,000. But then you might see a charge off with that $1,000 balance. That's a violation because really you only have $1,000 debt that's owed. But when you have both of them reporting it that way, it looked like you owe $2,000 of open debt. And that is incorrect. That's double dipping on their part. And you need to dispute that immediately. That's a violation of the FCRA. So you would want to dispute that with the credit bureaus. But the other part, when it comes down to medical collections, especially with that third party collectors, you never received anything from them. You never did business with them. You never got an Uber ride. You never bought a t shirt, anything. So, how do you owe them a debt? If I owe ABC hospital, all my children hospital, or, general hospital, a medical bill, how does that equate to me owing a LVNV? How do I owe you a debt when I receive that service from that hospital? So, with that, many of these companies, these collection companies, are borderline illegal. Because a debt is owed, it doesn't mean that anybody have a legal right to collect on a debt. You might owe an IRS debt right now. You might owe some back taxes. Because you owe those taxes, don't give me a legal right to come and demand from you to pay me your outstanding tax liability or debt that you have. I can't just show up with your IRS form saying, hey, this is how much you owe the IRS. Pay me. What sense does that make? Same with your light bill, your utility bill. I just can't show up at your door and hold a bill with a name of another company and tell you to pay me. You will call the cops on me because your first thought is, well, how do I owe you? Yeah, I know PNC Bank. Yeah, I know the electric company. But who are you? What did I get from you? And that's the problem that they have. Where is the original contract where you gave the right to sell that debt? Now, you have many people say, oh, well, you use the service over there. Okay, I use the service over there with that company. But where did I say that if I owe a debt, I will pay somebody else? If I owe Verizon, then let me pay, I'm going to pay Verizon because I owe them. I don't owe you. Who are you at the end of the day? This is extortion because you're actually you're misrepresenting that I owe you a debt if you cannot show me a legal right to collect on the debt. So when you have medical collections, it goes a step further because when you try to get information on that or send what's called a debt validation letter, a debt validation letter is your right to demand for them to show you they have a legal right to collect on this debt. They even, when they contact you, that collection company at the bottom, it tells you got 30 days to validate this debt. That's why you want to send them a debt validation letter to show, demand from them, they have a legal right to collect on this debt. But what many of these companies will do is send you back a bill to the medical care provider. That's a violation of the HIPAA law. How do you have my personal medical, private medical information? Are you storing that properly according to HIPAA? That you're supposed to store that personal health data a certain way. And who gave you the right to have my personal and private health information? All of that PHI, which is personal health information, they need your consent to get that. So by them just sending you that bill back, that can be a violation of the HIPAA law. So with these third parties, if you are not aware that when they're calling you, they vet you out and then ask you these questions. Are you so and so and so? Give me your social security number. I have to verify who you are. That's so they can start the clock to give you notice. So before they can actually report that on the credit report, they have to verify that you are the correct person. So you want to watch out for that. And the reason why they could record the call, they know they don't have a straight legal right many times to collect on these debts. So what they do is record the conversation, entrap you saying, hey, you owe this medical bill, don't you? Why don't you pay us $25 a month? And so when you verbally agree to that, you're binding a verbal contract with them. If you want to test this theory, next time they call you, you pick up, they say, hello, can I speak to Sherry? I would gladly talk to you, but I don't want to do it on a recorded line. Can you do that? They'll say, I'll have to disconnect and I cannot do that. And they will hang up immediately because they must record the call. They know that's how they're trapping you. They know if they can't get you to bind that verbal agreement with them, then they're pretty much standing on shaky ground. So you want to make sure that you are not talking to these people on a recorded line. You want to watch what you're saying. If you ever even call the original creditor, always use the words that, to my understanding, this debt is paid. But can you give me more information? Always stand on business with that, or send me the documentation because from my records, this debt is paid. They're trying to entrap you to admit that you didn't pay this debt on a recorded line. And many of you guys, when you start to pay them and you find out this information, then you want to backtrack, but you already ensnared yourself because now when you agree to pay them verbally, you have a contract. It's a verbal contract. And now you open up yourself for a lawsuit. That's why they record the call like that. Now they created legal standing. So you want to make sure with these companies, they pretty much buy these debts in portfolios. This is why it's portfolio recovery services. They buy a cluster of debts, my debt, your debt, and they're really buying a lot of times pieces of paper. They don't have that contract on hand. They're buying those debts pennies on the dollar. So if you owe $100 debt, they might have bought that debt for $5, and the original creditor sold it to them. They said, I can't collect on this. Hey, why don't you, this person owe me $100. Give me $5 and I'll sell you all these debts that I have. This debt I'll sell for you for $5. That other debt, they owe me $2,000. Hey, give me $200. I'll sell that to you and you pursue it. So once they sell it in these big portfolios, they're recouping on that. And then they write that off as a loss on your tax returns, on their tax returns. So another thing for a lot of you guys, if it's a charge off, you may want to go to the IRS website and see if you got a 1099-C. That way you can see, did they charge off that charge off? Did they discharge that debt? Because if they discharge that debt, you can use that to also dispute that charge off of your credit report. But when it comes down to those collection companies, you want to send a debt validation letter to those companies. You want to demand they show that they have a legal right to collect on that debt. With those debt validation letters, you want to send them certified mail. Okay. You want to make sure that you send that with tracking, and do not sign those letters. They will take your signature and then put it on a contract. So don't ever sign those letters. You also want to find out for those letters, find some people that's in that organization. You can go to the Better Business Bureau, look the company up. You have the president, treasurer. Those people, put them on those letters. If you need to, go to LinkedIn. People gladly put their information that I work at so and so on LinkedIn. Add them on that letter too, because if they act a fool, you might have to go ahead and sue them in your little small claims court if they don't act accordingly. All right. So always leave a trail. Then, especially with those medical debts, what you want to do is send a debt validation letter. You want to go stealth. Send that set debt validation letter. It's going to ask for proof to how do you have legal right to collect on this debt. And many of these companies, so don't be moved by it, they're going to send you back a bill. With that debt validation letter, you have a response when they send you back that bill. If it's for a medical bill, you want to have the language, and many of them will back off of this. Show me that you're not violating the HIPAA law. You have my personal and private information. This is a violation of the HIPAA Act. Many of them will back off at that point and release that debt because they know they're in a violation. That's why you definitely want to get those names, because if they're violating those laws, uh, OSHA oversees that. So you can report them. They can get fines up to $5 million if they are making this kind of violation. So you want to respond back to that. We have at our website, we have these debt validation letters and those responses for medical debt. But even if it's a consumer debt, the response that we have back for those consumer debts, saying it's just say some kind of light bill or some kind of consumer debt in that category, what you want to respond back is, because the debt is old, where does that show you have a legal right to collect on that debt? Show me this is not a contract. Where is your legal right to collect on this debt? This is just a bill. So where is the original contract? Where are these things that I requested? And when it comes down to, a lot of you guys may have eviction collections reporting on your credit report. A lot of times that's even worse, because with those, depending on your state, your local state laws, what did they do with your security deposit? If it was damages, did they notify you within 30 days what they applied that security to? Many states require them to do that, to notify you what they use that uh what they use that security deposit for. And many states actually require them to put that security deposit in a bank account. So where is that security deposit? Where's those records? Where's the original lease? Where's, you want to press on that? Where's the notice of what you did with my security deposit? According to state law, when you push them on that, they don't have that. They're a third party. So many a times they don't have that information. They may send you back a response with the last part of that lease signed or with your signature, but that's not the whole contract. Where's the whole lease contract? Where did it say I gave permission for them to sell this debt? And so you want to make sure that you are pushing for these things in order to entangle them up. We even have with the eviction letters, particular debt validation letters for those cases at that. But that's what you want to do to attack these collections. Now, when you have medical collections, always make sure you contact your insurance carrier. Make sure the insurance carrier did not pay them. Even with some of you guys with these auto insurance collections, make sure you call the insurance company to make sure that's not there. Because there's many a times with these toll collections, you might not even owe that. And they're really baiting you. I had one with a certain company recently with a toll collection. I knew I didn't owe them. I had that come off of my credit card. I knew I didn't owe them. Then when I sent my debt validation letter and I had called the original company, the toll company that had it, they said, no, I didn't owe them anything. And so when I contacted this, it was, a matter of fact, I want to tell her what it is. It was Penn Credit. If y'all ain't know, they out in Pennsylvania. Penn Credit. Contacted them and sent them the debt validation letter. They responded back, oh no, you don't owe a debt. So what they were trying to do is to get me to bind a contract with them by paying them, so then they can have a legal right to get me. And they will do the same thing to you too. Make sure you watch what you say. Do not pay these people without validating the debt, because you can activate even statute of limitations on some of these debts that's past time for them to sue you in your state or in the state that was the debt was created. So you want to make sure you're attacking these with some kind of debt validation letter. Do not let them entangle you. Do not sign that letter. Make sure you send it certified that you have proof. And when you dispute and send, now with these debt validation letters, these are not going to the credit bureaus. You're sending it directly to the collection company. So in that 30-day time frame, you also want to check your credit reports, because they are supposed to notify the credit bureaus that that account is in dispute, that you sent that debt validation letter. Okay, that you're disputing that, because if you didn't owe it and you're going for credit, that notation should be on your credit report. So if you're looking for an apartment, if you're looking for a car, they'll see that that is in dispute. If they do not do that, then that's a violation of the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And then you want to take that proof that you sent it certified, go to the post office website, the UPS website, print out, because it counts the 30-day window for them to respond. It starts the day they receive the letter. So if you sent it on November 1st, that 30 days, it doesn't end by November 30th because they didn't receive it because you sent it that day. You want to actually see the day they received it. And that's when the 30-day clock begin for their response to you. If they do not notate that on your credit report, then you want to turn around and show that proof that you sent that to them and they never responded. Same way, a lot of times they might not even respond to your letter. You have proof, send that to the credit bureaus. You keep the original for yourself, make copies. Hey, I contacted them in reference to this debt. They never responded. So delete this off of my credit report. So those are the ways that you want to use those tactics. Also, when we dispute with the credit bureaus, with my elite credit system or the packages, we use you. We don't know who that is. How can we verify it's you? You're going to go and get it notarized at your bank with someone who is authorized by the state to verify you, who's a notary. And then with those affidavits, what you are doing is only swearing that you are the person who you are. That it doesn't go any deeper than that, but that stops them for sitting there saying they don't know if this is you. And you always want to send your standard utility bill of your current address, your proof of your ID. So it could be a copy of your driver's license and your social security card, a copy of that. And you can send it in for your dispute. So those are the ways you want to deal with those collections. Watch out for those companies because they are borderline illegal. They're skating, and a lot of them are using the mail to defraud you. So if they keep it up, you can even threaten, "Hey, I'm gonna call the postal inspector. You're saying that you're really trying to extort me out of money by misrepresenting a debt that I don't even owe you for." So watch out how you communicate with these companies, and that's one of the tactics to get those collections off quickly. All right, Diamond, let's see if we can take any questions. If people have any questions.
Yes, so we have plenty of questions. We'll start off with Jeff Griffin.
Okay,
Griffin,
I
who
don't know
said,
why it's not coming up in our. Oh, I have to switch it. That's why. My bad. My bad. It was just in live mode without the comment section. Go right ahead.
oh, okay.
And thank you, Miss Murray. Also, Miss Murphy, thank you so much for the super sticker. We really appreciate it. You support every live, so we thank you.
Thank you. And also, we wanted to shout out Smooth Selling for the
Yes.
super chat as well. Thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to get Jeff's question, who said, "Can you help remove a 3.5-year-old settled charge off account?"
Yeah, you can dispute that charge off account. One of the ways you want to do it is you want to get those old addresses off of your credit report. That is a big thing. So you want to dispute that. But yeah, there are ways, like I said, to attack that. And one of the ways I did name in this live, also go to your IRS website. Also, see if you have a 1099-C, a cancellation of debt for that charge off. So check that too. I know it's paid off, but make sure they didn't cancel that out before you paid it, so you can dispute that charge off. But one of the big ways is removing those old addresses.
We have another question from
Let's also smooth sailing. Do you have see if you can find his question because I want to be respectful. He was able to support do
Oh, he said, I need all the help that I can get.
okay.
Smooth selling. I'm not sure if you put another question. If you did, could you please just repeat yourself? Because I don't see it here, but there's a lot of questions here. So,
And if you guys need to come up, let us know. We're willing to have you guys to come up.
yes.
But a lot of people are really, skittish about being on live, so we kind of tone that down, but it's all up to you guys.
So if you guys do want to come up and join us, I'm going to leave the link here. What's going to happen is it's going to ask you to create or to log into your YouTube account or some type of a Google account to then join us. So it might take a little second for you to get up here, but I'm going to leave the link, so you guys should prepare yourself to try to go through that process if you would like to join. The question from B Don, he said, "Hi, I believe I just got a late on my credit report due to the shutdown. What should I do?"
I will call that company and let them know if, especially if you were furloughed. Oh God,
Furlough,
furloughed. Say it for me, Diamond.
furlough, isn't it? How you say?
Furlough,
Yeah, I think.
furlough. Call the company and see if they can reverse that payment. Let them know it was due to the shutdown. Anybody else having financial troubles because of the shutdown, I encourage you to immediately call your banking institution because a lot of them are working with people. But just tell them I'm struggling, and a lot of them will give you some grace, especially because of this government shutdown.
So we have another question that says, "I have paid a collection. Is there anything that I can do to have it removed?"
Yes, just like I gave the other gentleman the same information, you can use that. You want to remove those old addresses off your credit report, and you can dispute that. You can dispute that paid charge off.
So someone said there is a difference between the company, or is there a difference between the company or their attorney collecting the original debt and a third party purchaser of the debt? But the debt,
That's a great question. Now, some of those attorneys are third parties. They buy debts. Okay, so some of them. Now, one of the things you got to watch out with them, if they're in your state or the state next to you, watch out because they could be lining you up for a lawsuit. A lot of them do that. They know they have license in your state and they know the system, whether you owe it or not. They'll try to entangle you up in the litigation of filing that lawsuit. So if you see that close by in your current state or states around you, watch out. One of the things, just a little tidbit, maybe getting Legal Shield or somebody like that to respond to them is a tactic that we use, like a Legal Shield. If y'all need help with that, just drop it in the comment section and I'll drop somebody information where they can help you. They can write, you can get that attorney to write them back a letter, and that might slow them down. Now, if they are in a state, say I'm in New Jersey, right? And they're in Chicago, most likely they're not licensed in my state. But just you can respond to them with the debt validation letter the same way. But if you get hit with a lawsuit, you guys need to talk to an attorney in your state immediately because that's different than you're just, hey, I got some negative items on my credit. No, they're actively trying to collect. Certain states like New Jersey, that if they get a judgment on you, can stay on you for 20 years and they can renew it for another 40 years. That goes state by state where they can garnish your paycheck, put a lien against property, all kinds of things. You just want to be careful in those cases. If you get a lawsuit, do not ignore it. You want to talk to an attorney so you can stop that situation. So those are the difference between the attorney and the attorney that buys the debt. They'll pretend that they are representing the company, but they truly own that debt. Now, um when I'm, with New Jersey, I know how to I had learned to send what you have to it's something called interrogatory questions. That's if they're suing you, and that's when you can ask questions. And sometimes with that, and that's for preparing for the case, you get to ask. That's part of your court rules and procedures, but that's done on your state level. And that way you can ask, who owns the debt? Was the debt ever sold? And sometimes you'll get down to the root that they owe that. But one of the ways, this is not legal advice because I'm not an attorney, I'm just giving you my personal experience, what I did in the past. If you get sued like that, what you want to do. Oh, you want to be act like you representing them? Oh, you gonna represent them today. You gonna represent a couple of folk. So what you gonna do if they sue you? Let me countersue, and let me get Jane Jolly. I'm grabbing up a couple of names from that company, and I'm countersuing the company and their butts too. Okay, I'm naming names. All right, as Little John say, shot, 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 everybody. I'm getting everybody. Okay, so I'm going to get the CEO. You're not going to play in my face. Let me grab up the treasurer. I'm about to get you. And then some of y'all sitting up there that work at the company, you could just be a customer service rep. Yeah, got your name in this lawsuit today that I'm countersuing you. So you suing me for $1,200. Guess what? I'm suing your company because you're not going to hide behind them. I'm suing you. I'm suing Sally Mae, and everybody else. You know what that's called? That's called leverage. And you do that in all times. Okay. As I that's what I do all times. Just like I bless the Lord at all times, I will sue you back at all times. And I'm gonna sue you for more. You say I owe you $1,200? Well, guess what? You owe me $1,500. I'm going to be petty. I'm suing you for more. Okay. Why? Because imagine if you on the street and then somebody is trying to rob you and they pull out a gun and say, give me all your money. And you turn around. Well, you now what we going to do? What you going to do? You pull out yours. Guess what it's going to be? A whole different negotiation process than them just having leverage on you. That's the way you got to do them too. Hit them with defamation of character. Let me tell you how you lied on me. Okay. You're lying on me. Matter of fact, I was denied for credit. Gather that. Well, how else did you lie on me? Let me gather up this credit report. You said I owed you this. Where's the contract? I don't even know you. So if that lawyer's saying, hey, I'm working for Capital One, you won't work for Capital One today. Okay, because I'm going to hit that off. I'm going to grab some names. And since you want to play and buy some debt, I'm going to make you do some work. Okay. And they going to get served right there. You go on LinkedIn, you go on the Better Business Bureau. Oh, I like to get them up on LinkedIn. Where's that office at? And here, oh, they work at this office. Sorry, I got to get you. Sorry, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you too. I'm going to get you. And then you're going to send that lawsuit right to that company. So when you go down there and sign that countersuit, they're going to send it to their job. And y'all know y'all don't like your job. They don't neither. Imagine you sitting at work and then there's a lawsuit for you. Like, what? I don't even like you here. You going to go up there and act a fool. Somebody going to have to do something. Okay. Because this person's suing me. And guess what? If you win that lawsuit on that, oh, that's going to hit their credit report. That's going to be a judgment against them. And they're going to have to bring them to court, or they're going to have to pay that attorney to really represent them. So that's kind of the ways. I know that's a little in depth, but that's how I get down. Don't play around and sue me. I'm suing you back. Don't you ever do it. And that's how you're going to do defamation. Most states, let me tell you how you're lying on me. Got defamation of character on the books. In some of these states, if you're defaming somebody's character, if you catch them, some of these states, it's a misdemeanor. It's a criminal charge. Some of it could be a felony charge in some states. So that's how you going to do. You going to apply pressure. Always see how this is what disputing is about while we tell you send debt validation letters, certified mail. A lot of y'all want to be lazy. Oh, I just sent it regular mail. You going to mess yourself up. Don't try to sit here and be cheap now. Don't try to be cheap now because you can't have it both ways. You want to pay either upfront by paying them folks on time, or you want to pay in the back end. You going to have to pick up which way you going to pay. You better send a certified mail because it's about making a track record. Okay. It's about getting evidence. It's about leverage. We actually had somebody in our group. I don't think he would mind shouting it out. Rock. He was able, once he was doing that disputing, he was able to go to a consumer law attorney because they was putting things on his credit report he did not owe, and he got paid. Okay. I ain't gonna put down how much he had to pay, and it didn't go far. It was in a suit because because the groundwork was done, that with the disputing, working with the elite credit system and the coaching, and a little bit he was getting frustrated because it was a long time prior to this that he had that situation going. But I told him, hey, you just starting here. You got to put in these steps. And he gave it to the attorney. Guess what? He got a little change. Okay. And the attorney took it on because he understood he had did all the groundwork and he didn't charge him up front. So always make sure when you're doing this, it's not about, oh, I'm doing little tricks of the trade. It's called strategy. You're creating leverage. So don't try to step over dollars to pick up some little pennies. You see what I'm saying? A lot of y'all stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. It's about strategy at the end of the day. And here's another thing. I keep it real. A lot of y'all think, oh, I'm just going to dispute and it'd be people. I sent in some letters. How so? And just one thing fell off. What? One thing? What do you mean? Like how much was it? It was like $500. Did you owe it? Yeah, you owed it. So how? Make the math make sense. Make the math make sense. If you paid $39.99 for 1 month and you actually got $500 of debt, even or people $200, you're on the up. Okay, you're on the up. Don't think all of this stuff because I ain't gonna sit here and lie in your face because I ain't really got time for it. Don't think if you got a number of negative items, I want to send them one dispute letter and all of my stuff going to magically disappear off of all of these, all of this stuff just going to get wiped off. It ain't going to work that way. I'm just going to keep it real because if you got one negative item, that's three negatives because it's three separate credit bureaus. All right. You might see two of them drop it and one keep it on, but you got to dispute again. But here's the math, y'all. Here's the strategy. There's many people in our group, what they do, one bureau might get cleaned up quicker than the other. Does that mean you just stop? No, there's certain banks that you can pull from that strictly approve off of one bureau. So why don't you build that? You can leverage that to build the rest of your credit. But I'm going to tell y'all this. If you think that you want to have forever now to clean up your credit, bad news. Bad news. Okay, because this people contacted me for an apartment now, baby. They having you connect to Plaid. And I'm about to drop a video I'm working on that canceling the credit bureaus. That's a trap.
Mom, before you get into that, before you move on to a new topic, hold on. I just want to shout out a super chat that we had. I just want to make sure that we acknowledge from Marian. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but they did have a question. They said they're from New York and they were asking about if we fix credit, if so, how much, collections, layoffs, and one repossession. So since you're talking about the group already, can you talk a little bit about the elite credit system and our other products that we have or our other solutions that we have for people that are looking to remove negative items?
Well, going back to what I'm saying, and I have to finish up my last point. The point is, you guys, you don't have all day. with doing this with your credit report. It is people that'll go in and out and clean up your credit. They're getting biometrics now. People are applying, and maybe you guys made apply for an apartment, and they're verifying your information. They'll tell you, hey, upload and take a picture of your driver's license, and then they scan your face. Pretty soon, that's how they're going to give you credit cards. You see certain I know Dillard's down here. A lot of them are asking you to upload your driver's license. And this is where they're going with that scanning your face. Pretty soon you ain't going to be able to shake this, because you ain't going to say it's not me. They're going to verify your biometrics. That's what they're moving into, just like you logging into your bank. So when it comes down to the elite credit system, we don't fix your credit. We're not a credit repair company. It's an AI software, and we have the coaching. If you need help on Saturdays, that's where we have the group. What with the system, I'm able to see what you got going on individually, and then we can strategize with you. The system itself create the letters for you, and you send it out. That service for the system, along with the coaching, to have me one-on-one. If we work, you get your one bureau cleaned off. A lot of times what I can do when I can see your stuff, then I can tell you and send you over a list. This is your better credit score, and give you options of where you can go if you need a loan, where you need to go if you need credit cards, to start building, and how to improve your credit score. That is $39.99 a month. And that's what you're getting. You're getting the AI software, and you get the coaching. So you're sitting down with me every Saturday. So that's what that part. So that's 39 it's 39.99 a month. But then we have different packages. Diamond, you know more of the detail on what's going on. Some of you guys, if you don't want to take that option and you already more equipped, because some people have a little more knowledge, you just want the language and the letters, you can go to the website and just buy the letters. Always send it certified mail, you guys, and it's going to come with the affidavit that I'm talking about. Please, with the elite credit system, it comes, we have the affidavits there, but I ask you guys, get it notarized one time. Get it notarized one time, and make sure that you guys keep the original and send that affidavit out with every dispute letter. Because if you need to go to the CFPB to put a complaint, you have your affidavit and you have your proof. But also be aware that CFPB is about to go away. Okay. That I have to do a video on that. I'll be honest, Trump is changing stuff as fast as a New York minute. They're not being funding like that. And they're really about to shut them down. They stopped the Fed recently from funding them, and they about to go away. So this is why I'm telling y'all, do this now, because a lot of these little opportunities, little loopholes that you have, they tying them up. So Diamond, tell everybody about the packages, because you know more. You always order the website, and I think right now, if you drop the link, it is
50% off.
yeah, we've been doing a sale because we're doing the credit boot camp.
So for the credit boot camp, we have different sales going on. Tonight, we have a 24-hour sale, 50% off for anyone that wants to do it themselves. If you want the DIY bundle, you want to just purchase once, and then, you handle it on your own. You can watch the videos and you'll be able to navigate it for yourself. That's for you. If you are someone that needs continuous help, you need to speak with Sherry, and you need to tell her about your specific situation, then the elite credit system is for you. So you pretty much explained everything there. I know that we do have a guest, that Glinda
Yes.
Thompson, that came up. So do you want to bring her up?
Yes, let's get Glenda up. Thank you for coming up, Glenda.
Oh, turn it
Glenda,
off.
how are you?
Hi,
Uh,
Glenda. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hey, so I do, my credit is not bad. It's in the 730s. But I do have one collection on there, and I
Mhm.
did dispute it like last month, but it's still on there. They didn't take it off. It came back and said it was mine. It said it was open in 2020, but it wasn't. So what I think they did was they sold it, and so they are still collecting on it.
Well, with that, you want to send the debt validation letter directly to the collection company.
Okay.
That's where you want to send that debt validation letter. Um, Once you send that debt validation letter, they get 30 days to respond, and you're going to send it certified mail, depending on their response, because a lot of times they will not reply back. Use that as proof that, because they already with you already went to the credit bureaus, they already said, oh, we verified this as being yours. Then now send that debt validation letter to them. Do not sign it. Then after the 30 days, even with that what you want to call it, once you get the it's sometimes if y'all want to spend for the green card, you that's a good thing to do, because they never respond back to you certified. I ain't get it.
Okay.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
yeah.
I ain't get nothing.
So
Who
where do
they
I
ain't
get
never
the?
respond back to me. And look
Okay.
at this. I'm sending it. Look at this. They received it on this date. I ain't get nothing. They ain't never respond to me. So delete that.
Okay. Okay. So do I get the letter? Go through your website and get the letter.
Yeah, you can. Diamond, do you have the link? And what kind of debt is it?
It's a department store.
Yeah. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to do that pattern with that consumer. And even if you're not, the medical bills is all in that collection package. So you can go ahead and use that. But
Okay.
you don't want to use the pattern for the medical debt or even the eviction. You
Okay.
just
Yeah.
need the consumer one.
Yes. Just the
Yeah.
consumer. That's it. Okay. Okay. Will she be? You'll be able to send that to me, or
Yeah,
I can.
you know what? Make a Diamond, can you give it to her in the back link?
I can try to do that. Let me see. If you want to, you can email us at howtoboostyourcredit@gmail.com, and then we
Or
can.
can you drop the link here in the chat?
Okay, let me see if that will. Hold on. I should be able
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. She's going to drop the link in the chat. Well, and Miss Thompson,
Uh-huh.
even when we close this out, we'll pin it to make
Okay.
sure anybody that needed that you guys can get it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
thank you so much for coming up. Diamond, we're
Mm.
just gonna have anybody else cam up in the background. It's people, y'all, that ain't, they're little perverts. We gotta make sure that
Hi, Marty. Can we just make sure
yeah, you
if
cam
you
up.
could just put your
Yeah,
camera on before we bring you up, please?
yeah, it's professional like flashers that works YouTube, and they're just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can just let us see your face in the background. And if you can, Marty F.
Marty, while you're working that out, we're just going to get to another question. If we can just see your camera, even just right now where people can't see you, but we just
Yeah,
need to.
they can't see you. It'll just be us that'll
Yeah,
be able to
because
see
we've
you
had
in the
issues in the
backstage.
past. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry, y'all.
so while you're doing that, Marty, I'm going to answer a quick question. Sorry, y'all. It's a lot of questions. Let me get to one that we didn't answer. Okay. I have four student loans that were consolidated, but now
Mhm.
they are reporting on my credit report as closed and they are negatively impacting my score. How can I get them removed?
Are they late payments? How are they negative? Let me more. Okay, we can see you.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you, Marty. Let me know. Um, uh, how are you saying it's negatively impacting you? Because some people might say that, and you might have a late payment or two, but if you got more positive payment history than negative history, you might want to keep that on. If it's closed and it was never paid, then with those student loans, um, you want to make sure that those are in good standing because they don't go away. Okay, you have to be uh, really disabled in order for that to go away. You can't even file for bankruptcy like that. Even you can bankrupt off IRS debt, but not student loan debt. So make sure, if you can answer that, I can give you the right direction with clarification, because you might be better off if it's late payments, disputing the late payment history, especially if it was in a time of the pandemic. Say that it was with the CARES Act, it should have been it should have been actually paused on that. It shouldn't be reporting late. So it's different ways that you can get down to that. And also you can go, everybody with student loans, go to your student loan servicer and request the whole payment history on that account, because many of these student loan companies was violators. That's why things like Nelnet and Navient, I believe it was Nelnet was one of them. Even one back in the day, oh my God, I had them. It's been a couple of them that they've been violating. That's why it changed hands, and they had to actually close them out because they were violating on applying your payments. Some of those was pushing people in income driven, or wasn't actually giving them the option to get an income driven payment program. They kept just forbearing, and that was actually building more interest against people than giving them that option. So just make sure, if you can answer that question for me, how are you saying that it's negative, then I can give a clearer answer. But those are some pointers for everybody with those student loan late payments. Let's see if we can bring Marty.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can. How are
Oh,
you?
okay. Hi, I'm good. How are you? And
Good.
so I typed in a comment earlier, and I am planning to join your elite credit system, but I haven't used my credit since like 2022.
Okay.
So recently, Verizon, when I heard you say Verizon earlier, I was
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh. They submitted my account to the credit bureau.
Okay.
So I saw one of your videos and you were talking about ask them not to record. So when I talked with the lady, I told her I didn't want to be recorded, and she said, "Oh, I have to record you." But this is what she did, and I know I'm not supposed to say I recorded her without her permission, but I did.
Mhm.
So she asked for my social and I wouldn't give it to her. And at the end of the call, she said, "Oh, and I don't have your whole social, just the last four digits." So I was like, why was she asking for my complete social? And I told her something you said in another video where you were saying, ask them not to record and don't give them your information. So at the end of the call, she didn't have my whole social, but she submitted my account to the credit bureau.
But she didn't disconnect from the call because you told her. And what did she say? That she stopped recording the call?
No, she told me she had to record it.
That's what, and no, so that's why you don't let them, you don't continue on talking to them. Tell them I don't talk to you on recorded lines. And
And
they
she,
would have to call, hang up. They cannot. So this is a good thing for everybody. Never talk to them on a recorded line. They cannot not record that line. So you don't even want to have a conversation with them. They must record that, and that is what you don't want to talk to them on, is a recorded line whatsoever. And many a times they're going to tell you, I can't do that. So you disconnect and hang up.
And also she told me she was gonna send me a letter with the amount owed, but a few days later she put it in the credit bureau. And I never got the letter. This was like last week or a week and a half ago.
Yeah, because you verified your information. And that's what I was saying. You don't want to verify the information, because when you answer those questions, even with your last four, you're verifying now they got the right person. You don't want to do that with
No,
them.
I didn't give her any numbers. I didn't give her the numbers because I asked her, I said, why do you have my account? I didn't do business with you. It was with Verizon. And she told me they had the right to have it because something like they were
You
affiliated
know,
with
yeah, you
Verizon.
don't want to verify that you're just, you don't want to verify. Everyone, do not verify that you are even the right person on those calls, because it's verifying they're talking to the right person. And so then that give them the leeway to go ahead that you receive notice. You don't want to let them hit you in writing. Let them respond to you in writing. If they're contacting you, make them contact you in writing. Do not talk to them on a recorded line. Do not verify your information whatsoever with these people, because that's why then that opened the door for them to report it on you. You get what
But
I'm saying? By just verifying, I'm Sherry Beckley. Then, okay, we got the right person. You don't want to verify your information with these people.
yeah, I think I did tell her my name, but I didn't give her any of my social, not even the last four digits.
Well, what you want to do now is send that debt validation letter to get that off your credit report. You want to start that process. You want to send it directly, certified mail, to that company. Make sure you do not sign that letter. Whatever you do not sign those letters.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to by in writing to see what proof they have that they got a legal right to collect on that debt.
Okay. So, and I'm gonna tell you, I do owe because due to the contract, but when I join the elite credit system, I can talk with you
Okay.
in more detail because
Okay.
I plan to join next week. I told my children, I said I am canceling some of these streaming services because I got to make the sacrifice and join because I've been watching you for quite some time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll try to wrap it up, especially if that's the only thing that you're dealing with. Try to expedite that as quick as possible.
Yeah, because I want to get just one credit card. I don't want a lot of credit cards because growing up, my mom and my stepdad, they had so many credit cards and they didn't manage them right. So as an adult, now I understand credit a little better and I don't want to get into that same situation.
No, that is totally, especially now in this economy. A lot of people jobs are going out the way, so you never know. And to be stuck with this debt, it is surely not a good time to do that.
Mm-mm, definitely not. So I am definitely joining your credit system. So you will be talking with me more.
I look forward to working with you so we can get this ball rolling. Now is the time to do this. And this is why we're really especially in this little space now before Christmas, Black Friday, just to keep everybody focused. If you guys don't have it, like you're saying, Marty, about those credit cards, don't try to overextend yourself for Christmas, any of these holidays. It's just too much going on. Try to stay focused. Because like you said, you get in that credit card cycle, it's that interest compound, and it's hard to get out.
Yeah, because I've been receiving emails from Capital One for a credit card, but since they submitted that to the credit bureau, my score dropped 75 points
Wow.
with Equifax, and I think it was 60 with TransUnion.
Mhm.
Because I have Credit Karma, and I was told the scores aren't always accurate, but that's what I use.
Well, you can use that as an indicator, and just for everybody, it just depends what institution is using what. You have that's a Vantage score um, instead of FICO score, but it's still different institutions now are opening up to different scoring models. So they even use Vantage now, what you'll see on Credit Karma to qualify for homes now. So it's a lot that's changing in the system. Well, thank you, Marty.
Marty, before you go, can I have you do something? Because I know you said you wanted to join by next week. We just want to make sure we stay connected with you. So, and this is for anyone here that if you're waiting to get paid or whatever the case is, please do create an account with the Elite Credit System. You don't have to pay. You can create a free account, but everything else, the system, you can look around the system, but you won't be able to see all of the videos and then get access to the group until you pay. But if you go ahead and create that account, we can stay connected with you so we don't lose you. Because I'm not sure if we have anyone's contact that is here on the live tonight. So if you guys can create an account, your free account with the Elite Credit System, we'll stay connected with you. And then you'll have our email should you have any questions before you're ready to go ahead and go all in with the Elite Credit System. Does that sound all right?
Well, guess what, Diamond? I created my account like a month ago.
Okay,
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. Okay, then you're already there. We're good.
Yes, I am already there. I'm just waiting to pay.
Okay.
And so, if y'all have questions, if y'all are in there, or you even got the free heart inquiry removal package, when you get those emails, if you respond back, we respond back to you. So don't think we're not there. The emails that go out, if y'all have questions, just ask it on those emails, and we do respond back to you.
Yeah. So again, it's just a way so we can stay connected with everybody that is here.
And let me say one more thing before I go.
Mhm.
I've been watching you all for a while, and I tell people, I tell my daughter, I said, Sherry knows her stuff.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I like Diamond's channel, and one of the jobs you posted on your channel, it was the oh my gosh, I'm having brain fog. The what's the job? I'm having brain fog where you go out and take pictures of the
Oh,
houses.
yeah, the inspections.
Yeah, but I didn't do that because I wouldn't qualify because my vehicle is too old. It doesn't look old, but I have a 2009 and I'm not buying a new car right now
Gotcha.
because it's paid for. But everything Diamond posts, I believe it. Her jobs, I'm like, that's a good channel. So I love you too and your channels.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
We appreciate the support. We really do. And let us know if you need help in any of those arenas. But I understand, girl, having a paid off car. Oh my God. Oh, what they
Yeah,
said. Oh, it was a commercial said, oh, what a feeling. It wasn't that
yes.
Toyota. Oh my God. Oh, what a feeling to have a paid off car.
Yes, and my car is what's that, 16 years old, but when people see it, they say your car doesn't look that old. I have a 2009 Honda Accord and I do not want a payment.
I
Yeah.
don't blame you. Keep going. And that lower car insurance, no full coverage.
Hmm.
Yep, I just did that too.
Good, good going, girl. You doing a lot
Yes.
better than a lot of people in this world having a paid off vehicle.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Well, thank
thank you. We
you.
appreciate you coming up. We really appreciate, and Mrs. Thompson. We know this isn't easy to
Yeah.
talk on these platforms. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Even everybody that's just faithful during this boot camp and just tapping into the live. Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
are very welcome, and I should be in boot camp next Saturday.
We ready to see greet you guys here. And
Okay.
let us know, everybody, on your progress to if this is helping you guys.
Mhm.
Please let us know at the end of this boot camp that if it the information and anything that you guys need for the next upcoming boot camp.
Mm-hmm. So we do have a question. Well, I'm going to bring up this question. What if you were to negotiate with with the collection company? What is the best amount to start off with? And her question was, well, what percentage should you begin
Now let's go back. She didn't say collection company.
paying off debt? I'm sorry about that. So, what's the best amount to start off if you want to negotiate paying off the debt?
Now I'm glad that you said it like that, because y'all know my rule of thumb. I don't try to negotiate with collection companies. Only time if you're closing on a home and you got to do what you got to do. I always say, because the third parties, you can kind of shake those. I try not to pay them, because what you guys got to understand too, why it's a slippery slope. A lot of those items, the last date of payment that you made on that item. So for we talking about repossessions, we talking about credit cards. The last time you pay and you didn't pay anymore, that starts the 7-year clock, okay, for it to fall off. So say it been 5 years now and you only got 2 years left. If you go negotiating and they don't remove that account, they update it as a paid collection, paid charge off. Now that starts another 7 years for it to stay even longer on your credit report. So if you're negotiating, you better make sure you get in writing before you pay anything. Those lines are recorded, and make sure your statute of limitations, because by negotiating and paying something, you can open yourself up to a lawsuit. So I just want to make sure you guys uh really get that point. If you are negotiating, if it's the closer to it falling off, if it's over, usually if it's within 2 years, 75% to start off as that, and older than that 2 years, you're looking at less than 50, like 50% or less is where I'm saying half of that debt. But like I said, always remember, you guys can reactivate the statute of limitations. If you don't get it in writing, a lot of times they are not, pretty much all the time, they're not going to take that off if you ain't getting it in writing before you pay it. So I just want to make sure you guys know that, because then people pay and like, well, they told me, and then when they don't remove it, now they got proof that you paid them, you did business, and it's pretty much then it's pretty much a much slippery slope that you're walking up at that point. So that's my overview on that.
Someone made a comment just now, and I wanted your intake on it. They said go to the bank and create a secured credit card, deposit 500, and have a $500 credit limit. Is that a tactic that you would suggest?
Yeah, you can. You just want to make sure uh the bank, because not every bank is not taking every credit score. So that's number one, is not, say, Chase. Chase do have a card, a lower end card as credit rise, but they're not taking bad credit. Pretty much there is a credit for students, more or less, or people who have no credit. So not every even if you have it, it's not a guarantee that everybody is going to give you a secured card. And some of these companies, they don't convert it to an unsecured card. Places like Navy Federal, Discover, they will convert that down the line. So if you have positive payment history and you're managing right. So I suggest, if you're going to do a secure card, you want to make sure that card can convert if you got good habits to unsecured. So that's my thing, because who want a secure card forever? And just to give y'all a heads up, secured cards, it might help to start build your credit profile, but I want you to think about it like this. Some point you want to look at the quality you're putting on your credit profile. So a lot of times with banks, when they see it's a secured card, you know what that says to them? You're on training wheels. You don't have the responsibility with that secured card because you had to make a deposit. They look at stuff like that. And let me tell you how you know. If you got a secured card, guess what you're going to get in the mail? Offers of the secured cards or lower limit, lower tier credit cards because the banks know about it. And what banks trust is not you or me. They only trust other banks. So the name of the game is you want to get more quality unsecured credit cards and people that are going to give you more of a chance. Where you're going to find that is credit unions. So this is why people are so crazy about Navy Federal, because they actually give people a chance. You can go, I mean, go in there and they'll give you a larger credit line and people can have lower credit scores because credit unions are more workable. So the key is how you're building. So a lot of times your aim might be want to go and try to build a relationship instead of big banks like Chase. They got a lot of business. They only take in top tier credit. That's why they have a lot of rules because their main customer is not you. It's like it's the big boys. You know what I'm saying? It's big businesses. So they can care less about catering to your credit profile or an American Express. They're dealing with big businesses. They can care less about really having you as an individual. But your local community, regional banks, they need you. Also, your credit unions, they need your support. That's where you're going to get really the funding. Not so much the big banks, and especially not now. Now is not the environment for the big banks. They headhunt, and a lot of y'all done got that. They headhunt. So just keep that in mind. You wanna, it's almost like losing weight and people be slim, like slim fat, as they call it, instead of body composition. You really lifting weights, losing weight at the same time, and building a real good credit profile. You want to watch kind of how, you make your steps, but you want to make more calculated steps so you have a stronger credit profile.
The next question is going to be from Wayne Smith, who asked, how can you get your interest rates lower from credit cards or credit loans?
Oh, you can call them and ask them. Sometimes, especially with credit cards, I know even Navy Fed, a lot of times you can call your banks, especially if you had good relationships with them for over a year and stuff. You can ask them, can you reduce my interest rate on this card? So call them and ask them, can you reduce your interest rate? So that's one of the ways. Or to refinance that debt. If you got credit card debt, you can get a balance transfer card that might be zero interest for a couple of months, 18 months, depending on where your credit score, and transfer that balance. Or your current credit card company like Discover send those checks out to you, and you can do that, or get a loan depending on where your credit score, and they might give you a lower interest rate and you just pay that other loan off and you just consolidate.
I believe that is our last question that hasn't already been answered, or wouldn't be kind of redundant at this point. So I don't know if you have any closing words for us tonight.
All you guys just stay tapped in, just to keep your ears to the street. We're in some real weird times now. AI is exploding and they are pushing this stuff fast. Pretty soon they're going to have some things locked in. I'm telling you, now is the time. I'll be honest, I'm about to drop a video on why canceling the credit bureaus. Man, it's a trap going on for y'all. It's a trap right now. And if you're not careful, I can't reiterate working together. Now they are, even for apartments, they want to connect a lot of times through Plaid now to see your cash flow. So if you don't get a picture of this to understand, it's going beyond your credit score. So with your credit score, people don't know how much, if you let's say have diabetes, they don't see your medication costs. Say you're spending $300 a month in that. Your food, say if you have three children, so and they might be boys, so you might spend $1,000 in food and how much you have left over in your bank account every month. The reason why they want Plaid, and now Plaid has a Plaid Linden score, this is an AI software where they keep saying right size credit. They want to look at your cash that you got left over and all your spending habits. All of that is going to come into play. I'm telling y'all right now, they're doing it now. So with your FICO score, you pay them bills on time. They don't see about all those other debts. A lot of y'all rent is not even reporting on your credit report. So all of that, when they ask you those questions on those credit card application, how much is your rent? They're trying to get down to how much income do you have left over from the bills reporting on your credit report. Now they're going to see all your spending, and they want to see if you have money left in your account at the end of the month. And if your account being overdrawn, they're going to actually count that against you. So the name of the game, if you are married, if you have family, y'all got to learn how to cash flow together. Your spouse, y'all better learn how to leverage and work together. And so folks, now ain't the time to be janky with people. Now is not the time to be mad with people. Now is the time to see how y'all can work together. Housing is about to, Trump already announced, hey, 50-year mortgage. So if for you with a 50-year mortgage at one, you're paying a mortgage for 50 years, not because he's trying to be facetious. It's because these prices is so high, people are not getting in the game. Now, with a 50-year mortgage, I'll make a whole video on that. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get a home with that 50 years, how you leverage that. If I'm getting a multifamily, guess what? I don't care about that 50-year mortgage. I'm trying to control the asset, because with that cash flow, I could start paying at the principal of that loan. And I'm not going to be in that 50-year loan forever. I'm going to refinance down the line, but I'm trying to get my hands on the asset. Even if you're getting a home right now and you get in that 50-year mortgage, the plan ain't to pay that for 50 years, because you're going to pay pretty much double for that home over that time. Most of that mortgage that you're paying, is most of that interest is front loaded. So you only are going to crack just doing that 50-year mortgage probably in like 20 years. It's going to take you 20 or 30 years to pay the front end of that interest that they're putting up front. So that wouldn't be your best strategy, but it could get you in the door to qualify and control the asset. Once you get the home, that home is not like a car. So a car, they hold your title until you pay it off. Once you get that home, they put the deed in your name. You have that, you own that asset to leverage. That's why you got to go through foreclosure. You actually own your home. It's just a lien on your home, but you can refinance it at any time with anybody. You can cash it out, it's yours. So what y'all have to do is to get the whole understanding on the credit system. A lot of y'all might not know that, but you need to work together, because Section 8, they talking about rolling it back, certain guidelines if you under 40. A lot of them saying working, it's people that work that got Section 8. They barely give you any money. Some of y'all know that y'all working and you got Section 8. It's some people I knew, girlfriends, they let that crap go for all the heartache that they was trying to get them over, giving them credit for $200 at some point, that it was more headache for what they had to go through than worth it. So when they talking about Section 8 for 2 years, that ain't going to even be enough time for people to get on their feet. Bottom number, it should be 5 years. And I'm a landlord. I never had Section 8, but guess what? I have received it as a landlord, and I understand. Let me tell you, if you're a single mother if you're a parent, 2 years, I don't care who you are in this economy right now, we dealing with different numbers with these inflation, with the inflation. Listen, 2 years ain't enough time for nobody to really get on their feet with them letting go of jobs, laying people off. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just telling you to look around and see what's going on. It's the time to work together. Try to see how you can work with your family. I keep preaching. Y'all might better look at getting some land together with your family. If you get that section 8 for 2 years, start strategizing. Hey, we going to either build together. Here's the plan. I'm not paying all of this in rent. Let me and my family members try to strategize. Maybe we should buy some acreage of land and we all leverage that land ownership and go to the bank now, and let's build our individual homes by using our joint income. Let's buy a multifamily together. Let's get a 3 family and all of us take a unit and live there and use our income. So, because pretty soon this housing might not be the same. So, I know a lot of people, and maybe they're not on that level, they're not thinking like that, but I'm going to tell you sooner or later, it's going to come the time where what I'm saying to you is going to make mad sense, because there's a lot of things changing. And right now, if you don't own a home, that qualifying for a $400,000 home without 150, probably 150 grand a year, probably is not doable. And you're going to need 3.5% down, even going through FHA. VA, no money down, or FHA, or USDA, no money down, but they still want to see money in your account. They still want to see certain reserves. So it's going to get real choppy out here. So they're asking even tax transcripts for people that's self-employed for apartments now. So, and they want 3 to 5 times the income, depending on the rent, 3 to 5 times. And y'all want tax returns, you want to do all that. And they want bank statements to see bank balances for 2 months. Y'all want me to qualify for a mortgage. You might as well go on and get a home if y'all work together, if this is what they're going to do out here. So I'm just saying that's going to make it harder in the rental market. If you got all these people that can't buy homes, and then they're doing all of this for a rental, that's because they know that more demand for rental properties are going to come, for rental units. So they're setting up systems to weed folks out already. And if your money ain't right now, and you might be living alone, pretty soon, if you're running out of running room, you're going to be living with somebody anyway. So you might as well do it on your terms to strategize. Before I got to live with this person, let's do it comfortably. Maybe let's buy some land, because the way they letting go of government jobs, so-called good jobs, somebody going to be left off in the cold. Getting rid of those terms for some people on Section 8, 2 years, somebody going to be homeless around here. So that's all I got to say, Diamond. I'll land that plane and we'll wrap it up there. But start making some, y'all start taking this for real, serious now. This system is changing. And it ain't for the better. It's for the freaking worse at that. It's changing for the worse.
Thank you guys so much. If you had a question that we were not able to get to, you can email us at howtoboostyourcredit@gmail.com. It will be in the replay of the description. I'll also put it in the chat here. And also, we will be back next weekend, same time. And next week will be our last week of the credit boot camp, and we'll see how we navigate from that point. So please do come back next Saturday, 9 p.m. If you guys want to have more talks like this ongoing, then please do join the Elite Credit System, where you will have one-on-one group coaching meetings with Sherry every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys so much. Also, we do have
And if you, when we get off of this live, feel free to drop your comments and we'll reply to them. So anybody that's catching this late, we can answer your question. Just leave the comment and we'll answer it.
Yes, and Angela, I see your question about letters on our website. We do have all of the letters on our website. We also give a free hard inquiry letter on our website as well. And all of the links are going to be in the description box of this live. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you and we hope to see you next weekend.
And have an awesome weekend, you guys, and please be safe.
Yes.
See you next weekend. Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Good night. Good night. Okay.